Hey everybody, this is Patricia. Welcome back to my channel. Today is my very chatty Get Ready With Me. And I think I have my voice back enough that we can be very chatty. We're going to try it. So today I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll just talk about it. One thing I wanted to do is try out this primer mask I got in my BoxyCharm. So this one you put on, leave on 5 minutes, and then it's your primer. So let's just go ahead and get started. And let me open it up. This is by BioBell. It feels a little wet. Just a little wet. But we're going to try this out as a primer. I pre-recorded a few videos. But since my last video that I recorded, my husband and I got really sick, and we've just been like laying in bed. He's gone back to work. Oh, this smells yummy. I love the smell of this mask. It smells really nice. But yeah, we've been coughing, and I've been sleeping on the sofa. One, because he's been trying to work and I didn't want my coughing to wake him up. And two, I couldn't lay down. When I lay down, I would start coughing so bad that I slept kind of sitting up. This was a time I wish I had a recliner. We are getting new living room furniture sometime this year. After vacation, probably. I don't know, might have to see about getting a recliner. I always grew up with a recliner, so yeah, I could have used one. Maybe I sleep better. I still have not slept a full night in over a week, so I'm hoping maybe tonight's the night. I'm not coughing as bad today. So okay, I got this on pretty it's not completely straight, but I think it's good enough. So yeah, I'm going to pause you because you don't need to watch me wear this for 5 minutes, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. It's been 5 minutes, and while I was away letting this do its thing, I read the directions, which it said that after you leave the mask on for 5 minutes, peel off the mask and rinse. So I'm going to peel off the mask, and I just went and got a washcloth and just put some cool water on it, and I'm just going to kind of rinse my face with that. Just kind of pat. I don't want to rub. So I don't understand the rinsing it off, but okay. There we go. I already probably don't think too much about this as a primer. Truthfully, I'm gonna hang on to that and wipe my hands on that. I'm gonna dry my face a little. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I'm not going to do check-ins today and all that. I'll, maybe later on, I'll leave a comment in the description bar below and tell you, you know, how all this looks at the end of the day. Well, not all this. After I get everything on. And I was looking, look how dark my circles are, but yeah, I've been sick, so I think I'm dry. I think it's pretty dry. Okay. Well, now that I got that done, let's move on to getting the rest of my stuff on. I'm using my Revlon eye primer and brightener, mainly because I just want to use it up. I want this to go away. So, there we go. Wow. I haven't done my eyebrows. They need done so bad. They need waxed. I need to do that. I haven't done that. I'm using you as a mirror. I'm sure you can tell. The job my husband does at work, there's only 2 people in the entire facility that can do his job. It's him and a lady. I'm not going to give out her name because I am friends with her on Facebook. And so I don't want to say anything in case she doesn't want anything said. But how how long has it been? I think it's been 3 months. Three months, I think, maybe. Her husband passed away. And I'm talking, they're our age, you know? And her husband passed away, and she's been dealing with that, and it's been really hard on her. Well, she had a mammogram that came back, you know, something wrong with it. I've been there. I've had those. And but hers turned out to be cancer. It was malignant. It was just one spot, and they did a lumpectomy a week or so ago, and they took some lymph nodes out. I'm not sure which side, but it was cancer. But luckily, the test came back, and it was just a small space. They want to do some radiation, and she's having some problems with range of motion. Now, my mother had breast cancer twice. When I was a child, she had it and had a mastectomy, and then again in 1995, she had a lumpectomy. So I understand what she means when she says that she doesn't have range of motion because she can't move that arm up. And so my mother couldn't. She had to go, actually my mother had to have another surgery to unfreeze her shoulder. But I'm going to be using this Tarte Tarteguard 20 tinted moisturizer I got in my Sephora box. And I'm going to get a little mirror out so I can see a little better. But yeah, so my husband last week, was it this week or? No, it started this week. This week and going forward, he's working Monday through Friday, and some Saturdays. And he's really doing the work for both of them. And he's been so sick. I'm just going to use my fingers. I don't want to use a brush today. He's been so sick and trying to work that he's not making it full days. He hasn't missed a day, but he hasn't worked a full day either. I think today he said he's going to try to stay there all day. He is feeling a little better. But I just want y'all to keep this lady in your prayers. Because, I mean, it's hard enough going through breast cancer. But when you've just lost your husband. Her children, she has 2 children, and they are grown. And they both live on the West Coast. So they're not here to help her. And so, yeah, just keep her in your prayers. Because that is so sad. I can't imagine what I would do. And I know some of you have been there. Some of you have lost spouses. And some of you have had breast cancer. So you definitely can relate. I luckily have not lost my spouse, and I hope I don't. I hope nobody has to go through that. But, you know, we all will have to go through that in some way. But, yeah, I feel real sorry for her that she's going through this alone right now. I haven't heard if either one of her children came to help her. I don't really know. This tinted moisturizer is okay. It doesn't give you, it's a light coverage. But, you know, it is a tinted moisturizer. I don't know what I was expecting. There are some that are a lot better than others. This is okay. I don't feel like this would last, like, if I was going to a theme park or anything. I don't know when I would wear this. Because I like a little more, you know, I like to have my makeup on. I don't know, maybe around the house and, you know, you're just going to be outside, you know, piddling in the yard or something. This is okay. There is no color to this, you know, no shade range. I mean, it's just this. And it's basically, it's the same shade I am. It probably works that way for everybody. Probably. But yeah, you can see, it didn't cover anything. You can see everything. But yeah, I wanted to try it out. I wanted to give it a shot. I'll give you my full review when I do my review of my boxes and bags at the end of the month, which is almost here. God, these months go by so quick, especially when you've been sick. I mean, you know, just kind of laying in bed doing nothing. Well, I haven't even been in bed. I've been on the couch. Been on the sofa watching TV. Come up with some great ideas for some videos, though. My brain didn't stop working, even though my nose was stopped up and my throat. My throat was never really sore this time. I was just a lot of coughing. Okay, now I'm going to use my concealer, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in Fair, and I'm going to turn it where you can see, but I'm at the M. There's just that little teeny bit at the bottom. So at the end of this month, this is going in the trash. This can go away. I have used and used and used and used. But yeah, it's settled. I can see it's down below the M. I mean, probably the applicator probably can't even reach down there. I know I'm still sick. I'm not feeling like really sick like I have. I've wanted to film for a couple of days, and I just haven't had the energy, or I just haven't felt like it. But today I feel pretty good. So I thought, well, let's give it a shot, because I hope I don't, you know, go the other way and get sicker. But let me spray my. But today I have decided to use my Real Beauty blenders. So this is an actual beauty blender, a little baby beauty blender. So again, I'm not going anywhere today. I am just gonna hang out here at the house. I really should do my eyebrows. They are bad. You can see, can't you? Look at that. They're bad. They need to be done. So, when we last checked, I last checked the TV, I think we're 84 days till vacation or something like that, which is coming really fast. I have a Halloween costume to make. Wow. Doing my concealer like I normally do with this tinted moisturizer has, like, woo. Yeah. That's a little, I don't really care. It's just you and me. Okay, I'm going to take my It Cosmetics powder in translucent. I'm going to use you. And just set my eyes, under my eyes. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. You know what I've been eating lately? Tomato sandwiches. So good. My garden's coming along. Actually, my husband and I walked out yesterday and checked on the garden, and I've got little tomatoes coming, and several of my pepper plants are already have peppers coming. I have a chili pepper plant that has these long peppers on it, and then what is that other? I have another. Oh, it's banana pepper. I got a big banana pepper, and I've got blooms on my zucchini and my squash and my cucumbers. They're blooming. All my peppers are blooming. I see little baby peppers coming out on some of the others. What else? I'm already using basil for my garden. I'm already using lettuce for my garden. I can't wait to use tomatoes for my garden. I love tomatoes. So let's do some contouring now. My Revlon Insta-Blush. I never list that down below, but I do use this Revlon Insta-Blush in Nude Kiss. I do like a cream stick contour. And when I bought this, I was at a CVS, and I didn't have a lot of choices at that CVS. So this is technically a blush, and but I think it's a really pretty shade. I would like something a little darker so I can really get the hollows. That's what I use it for under my neck. So My son is with his grandfather. He's been at my in-laws for a few days. If I keep looking, I'm looking out the window because he's supposed to come home today. I don't know when. So, I don't know how all this is going to look with... It's like I'm doing all my steps without having any makeup on, any foundation. Looks kind of red today. We're going with it. We are going with it. Using my beauty blender. I need to mix up more water. In my spray bottle is water with tea tree oil. I have this, fill this with water, and I use about 2 to 4 drops of tea tree oil. And that's what I use to wet my sponges. And yeah, I don't know how this makeup's going to look today. I'm just going to go with it. My nose itches. I might have done too much of this. Maybe I should have skipped that part. I haven't exercised. I have iced my knee. I've started icing both my knees, and I think that's helping. Stacia, I want to thank her on camera. Stacia, she is so good to me. She sent me tape to tape my knee, and actually sent me a link to a YouTube video showing me how to tape my knee. So I'm going to do that on vacation. She had asked me if I'd used it yet. I have not, because I want to use it on vacation. But I'm thinking I should give it a try before I go. But thank you so much. If that works, I've made a Pinterest board about it, and I've been looking, and this one guy, he taped his knee for running, and he said it felt so good, he just kept pushing himself, and he said the one thing was when he took the tape off, his knee really hurt. So I'm preparing. I'm going to take Ziploc bags with me to put ice in, and every day I'm going to ice my knees at the end of the day when I take tape off of them. But I am going to use that tape to go around those theme parks. Believe me, I'm looking forward to it. Now, I'm going to... You know what? I am not going to use my Kat Von D contour because I feel like it'll just be too much. I'm making that decision right now. No Kat Von D today. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and powder. I use my Revlon Colorstay, and boy, I have hit pan on that. And I really like this. And this was just a luck of the draw. I just was in the store, and I'm like, I want a powder to use, and I picked this one, and I was lucky to get one I really like. So I'm not sure when I run out of this if I want to buy this one again or try something else. I'm afraid if I try something else I won't like it. But that's what this channel's all about, trying new products and letting you know how they work. So I probably will buy a different brand and try it out. I think my powder is giving me more color than that tinted moisturizer. I think that looks a little better. There we go. A little better. Yeah. Okay. Now I am going to head into, just go ahead and do my eyes. Right? No, my brows. I decided, because my brows are just so... I'm just going to use my Gimme Brow. And I have been using Gimme Brow for years and years and years. Probably since they came out with it. And I use the color number 1. And I'm going to need more Gimme Brow. Because I like to have this. I use my pencil more than I use the Gimme Brow. But on days when I just want to get makeup on in a hurry and just go, I usually just brush some Gimme Brow in my brows just to kind of give them some shape and color the grays, because yeah, I have grays in my eyebrows. So I probably need a new Gimme Brow. And my stomach is growling. I think lunch today will be another tomato sandwich. I've been buying this really good bread from the grocery store bakery, our local grocery store bakery, and it is so good. They have this, it's just, it's just really good. And I was out of bread. So on the way home yesterday, my husband stopped and got us 2 loaves. You have to slice it yourself. Sorry, my nose itches. And they were still warm. So they are, look what I just did. They were warm, so they are fresh. And I'm going to have to fix that. I hope you're not watching this to get any pointers, because today it's what not to do. Putting on your makeup. This is what not to do. I'm just taking my sponge, my little eye sponge, and just trying to wipe that away. And you know what? I didn't set my primer. I need to set my primer. Hold on one second. Okay. I have been using this Cindy Luminizer to set my primer. It's on my project pan. And let me show it to you. Yeah. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to use this to set that primer. I don't know what it is. When I start filming, I forget what steps. I think because I'm talking. Because when I'm actually putting on my makeup here, yeah, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just doing makeup. So I think it's the actual having a conversation with you causes me to forget what steps I'm doing. Because I probably would have done this earlier. But it doesn't really matter, does it? My ears are stopped up. I hate that feeling. I think I sound weird. My hand's shaking. I'm going to hell in a handbasket, I tell you. I tell you. It's not my best day. There is something my mama, I didn't realize my mama said it. I say it. And my husband laughs at me anyway because I take figures of speech and twist them around and, you know, I say things wrong. And he finds it so funny. And I've probably done it in these videos. And you guys have probably found me so funny. And I don't do these things on purpose. That's just me. And my husband laughs at me all the time. And I don't really care. But I told him the other day, you know, I'm just hippoed. And he looks at me, he says, you say that, and it makes no sense. And I'm like, well, where did that come from? And he said, your mother said it. Your mother used to say it. So I'm like, I wonder where we got that hippoed thing. I don't know. I don't know anybody else that says it. Do you know anybody who says, oh, I'm just so hippoed? Hippoed means you're just falling apart. Is that a Southern thing, or is that just a in my family thing? I don't know, but apparently I say it. My mother said it. I don't know anybody else that says it. I don't know. I should ask some cousins of mine if they say it. That's on my mom's side of the family. You know, that's what we should talk about today. We should talk about my family. I'm not going to get into a lot of details about my family because, one, it's my family and it's private, but I have an unusual family, and sometimes, you know, none of my friends can keep up with my family situation. My husband can, but it took a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my eyes. But I come from a very unusual family. Let me just say that. I am one of 11. Me. I have 10 half siblings. All are halves. I'm my mom and dad's only child together. So that's the first thing. I have 10 half siblings. My mother's side, I have a half brother and a half sister. All the others are girls on my dad's side. I'm going to use my Lorac brush that I got in my Heart Brunch palette because, I don't know, I'm just falling in love with this brush. And I'm using this Realher shadow palette number 2. It's called Do Your Squats. And these are the colors. And we're going to try them out. So I'm going to start, wow. Let's see, there's not a, that's a matte. Looks like there's only 3 mattes in this palette. Maybe some satin finishes and some glittery. So, I'm going to go with Invincible. It's a matte. I'm going to do that in my crease. Okay, so my parents, my family situation. My mother had a boy and a girl from her first marriage. And my brother is the oldest of all my siblings. And he was 23 when I was born and in Vietnam. And I did not meet my brother until he was 5. So I never grew up with my brother. I never lived in the same house with my brother. He wasn't around all the time. So my brother and I have an unusual relationship. We're not what I would call close, but unfortunately, I am all the family he has left. Our sister passed away, my goodness, how many years now? 8 years ago of cancer. So, yeah, it's just my brother and me. So it was just my brother and me to take care of my mother when she was so sick. If you're wondering why I have so many siblings, but it seemed like I did everything, it's because those siblings, we didn't share the mother. So, yeah, I pretty much had my mother to myself with a little help from my brother, but my brother has a lot of issues himself that I really can't go into, but he has some mental issues. So, yeah. Yeah. So I pretty much, it was me taking care of my mom during her whole time. She was sick. So, yeah. On my dad's side, my dad was married and he got married during World War II, and his wife had a set of twins, girls. They were born in 1944. Virginia died at 3 weeks old, and Vivian died at 3.5 years old, and Vivian died of polio. I don't know what Virginia died of. I don't have a picture of Virginia, but I have one photo of Vivian. So, and she looks like my dad. My dad divorced that wife. In all honesty, I believe he married her because she got pregnant. In all honesty. She never married again, from what I understand. She had no more children. Then my dad proceeded to have flings here, there, and everywhere. And then he and my mom had actually grown up together, and they met up with each other again. My mother had divorced her first husband, and my dad was divorced. They started dating, and then they got married and had me. Then, it seems, though, that 2 years before my mom and dad got together, one of my dad's flings produced a daughter. And so he had a daughter with another woman. But back in those days, it wasn't like today. So my dad's name was not on the birth certificate, although he did provide for my sister, and he was there for her. Legally, he was not her father, legally, on any paperwork. But my sister looks just like him, and it was just a given. Now, after my mom and dad were married and had me, my dad continued to have his little flings, unfortunately. Okay, so let's step forward now. My dad passed away when I was 17 of cancer. And at that point, I knew I had my sister, Teresa. And because I grew up with Teresa, well, I didn't grow up with Teresa. We never grew up in the same house. But I knew about Teresa. Let's put it that way. But I didn't grow up with Teresa. Again, there's been times in our lives when we've been very close and then we kind of separate and that kind of thing. But I knew about Teresa, and of course my brother and sister from my mom's side. It was after my mom had her stroke. This is going to be very chatty. It's 30 minutes. I'm still doing my eyes, so I hope y'all don't mind. I'm going to do an easy eye. I'm just going to put this Limitless on the lid. I'm going to use the smaller side. After my mother had her stroke, and I had quit work, working outside the home, I should say. I quit doing that. I get an email on classmates.com, and I had to sign up for the premium to get the email, you know. And this eyeshadow, this Limitless, is not going on as well as the other one, the Invincible. It's kicking up a little powder, but not bad, but I don't find it's going on as well. Okay, so anyway, I get this email, open it up, and it says, "You don't know me, but I think I'm your half-sister." And I'm like, what? So I contact my husband at work, and I'm like, what? And then I contact my sister Teresa, because this would be on my dad's side. And she's like, what? She's like, well, write her back. And I'm like, okay. So I write her back, and she tells me her story. We end up on the phone. We end up on the phone for 4 hours that day. And her story is she was adopted. And by a family. And long story short, when she was 21, she was diagnosed with bone cancer, which is what my dad died of, from bone cancer. She was diagnosed with bone cancer. And since her adopted family was not a match, she began searching for her biological parents, and her parents helped her. Let's go. I don't want to go with a smoky eye. I feel like I have no foundation on. I think I'm just going to line my eye with a little bit of this Invincible with my detail brush. So she's come down with bone cancer. They start searching for her biological parents. We're looking for bone marrow donors. She finds her biological mother, and through her mother, she finds out who her father is. Now, when all this is going on, her mother does not match. And when they start looking for my dad, he had already passed away. And you know what? I didn't bring any eyeliner over. Let's skip eyeliner today. I'm just not in the mood. You can tell I'm just not feeling that great today. Excuse me. So, there we go. That's all I'm doing for my eyes, except I'm going to put some mascara on. So, they find out my dad's dead. And she goes on. She ends up having surgery. She has her hip replaced, her knee replaced, and the bone taken out of the upper part of her leg, and the titanium rod put in that place. That is the sister who had the tumor in her neck last year. That's the one. She's my baby sister. She's the only one younger than me. It turns out I was 8 years old when she was born. Her mother admits she was a bit wild and kind of played the field, but when she met my dad, she instantly fell in love with him. So her mother had said, and she thought my dad would leave my mom and me and go to her, and he did not. So she put the child up for adoption. So that is my sister Melissa. Now the other sisters have come because of that. Finding Melissa, I have found my other sisters. So yeah, long story short, I don't want to go into all the details, but let's just say, yeah, that's it. Excuse me. So that's how I got all of these sisters. I'm going to do Ancestry, the DNA test on Ancestry.com. Not because I want to know my ancestors, because I have done my family tree, and I've taken my family tree back to the, excuse me, hold on one second. Sorry, I had to get a drink and cough, but I've traced the majority of my family tree back. So I know I go back to England and Ireland and Germany and some Vikings and some French. But so the reason I want to do the DNA test is because if there's other people on Ancestry.com that have done the DNA test, then it'll let you know if you're related. And I did not know about my dad's wandering eye until after he had passed away. I did not know. They kept it from me. Even my sister, Teresa, kept it from me because she ran into my dad and a woman out and about one time. And she kept it quiet. I'm the only one who didn't know. But since my dad was such a people person, I do believe I might have more siblings out there. I think I do. My gut tells me I do. So yeah, I want to do Ancestry.com. I want to do the whole DNA thing. I'm going to put some bronzer on now to kind of warm me up. I'm going to use the Pure Mineral Glow Bronzer. So, yeah. I think I might have siblings. So that's the story. I never talked about it. I found out about Melissa while my mother was still alive, and some other sisters while my mother was still alive, and I never mentioned it to my mother. Why mention it to her? Why say anything? I didn't say anything to my brother because I was afraid he'd tell my mother. So it wasn't until after my mother passed away that other members of my family found out. I kept it. We kept it kind of quiet because I didn't want to upset my mother, especially after she had had her strokes. I didn't want to do that to her. Now, I'm going to try out my new blush. This is the Floral blush from BH Cosmetics. I think my voice is not liking all this talking I'm doing. So, this is the color, by the way. I don't know if I showed you. It's Caribbean Coral. I think I might have put too much. I don't want to go lightly. There we go. So that's the story of my family. I do have a lot of siblings, and I grew up with none of them. None of them. I grew up like an only child. I grew up just as if I was an only child. And I thought I was Daddy's girl, and he did think the world of me, and he spoiled me, according to my mom, and he did. I know he did. I don't think he knew about all the children. My sister Teresa, because he was so loving to her and did so much for her, felt guilty that he couldn't raise her. She believes that if he had known about the other girls, he wouldn't have. He would have wanted them in his life. I'm trying out my new brush too I got from, oh, do you even see what I'm doing? I'm using this Diamond Glow Powder Artist Couture I got from my BoxyCharm, and I think it's Illuminati. I don't know the color name. Yeah, Illuminati. So that's what I'm doing. So it's a very pretty, it's a pretty highlighter. So yeah, that's the story. Wow, that is pretty, isn't it? I'm sorry I don't look my best today, but it is what it is, and it's just because I'm not feeling well and I'm talking too much. My throat's wanting to give out on me. Now I'm going to put some lips on and just call that a day. It doesn't look too bad. It's an easy makeup look. I'm going to use also from my new BoxyCharm my Ofra, and I believe this color's Tuscany. I haven't researched it yet. Let me put this on. And I'm not going to line my lips. I should, but I'm not going to. Let's just put this on. This smells so good. This smells yummy. Wow. It's very sweet smelling. Kind of a candy smell. I wouldn't call it an icing smell. I wouldn't call it that, but it's very sweet. I think it would be more of a fall shade for me. But there we go. I just wanted to try out all this new stuff. I like this eyeshadow palette. I'll tell you my full thoughts about it in my review, but I do like the eyeshadows. I like the lips. I like the highlighter. I like the brush. I can do without that tinted moisturizer though, but that's okay. So, thanks for joining me today on my Chatty Get Ready with me. I didn't really expect to go into my family situation, but that's it. I'm not going to go into it in any more separate details about things, because, I just think it's some things that just, you just need to keep in the family. Plus, I don't have everybody's permission to talk about such things, so I can just talk about my part a little bit. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.